Let's see. All right, and now we're gonna go live. It takes a couple seconds for it to
click in, yeah,
into Instagram. So I'm just there it is. Yay!
Good.
Okay. Woo! All right, fabulous. Yay. All right. So welcome to 20 Questions. I'm Lisa Kastner. I'm here with the phenomenal Jean P. Moore, the author of Crossing from Shore to Shore. And anyone who's watching, or if you're watching the recording, no, I am so incredibly excited to bring you Jean. She really is absolutely phenomenal. And the way this works is I'm going to give you a little bit of info around Jean, around Crossing from Shore to Shore, and then we're going to launch into the fabulous 20 questions. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, oh my God, she sounds so cool, and I have a bajillion questions, please, please, please go ahead. Pop them into the comments section of whatever venue you're watching, and I will be sure to repeat it. So then Jean has an opportunity to ask. Cool? Or answer, rather. Awesome. Now, for those who may not know Jean, she is an award-winning author, a novelist, a poet, and a nonfiction writer. Her novel, Tilda's Promise, won the Contemporary Novel of 2019 New York City Big Book Award. Tilda's Promise was also awarded an honorable mention in the 2019 Reader Views Literary Awards and was a finalist in the 2019 National Indie Excellence Awards. Her novel, Water on the Moon, published in June of 2014, was the winner of the 2015 Independent Publishers Book Award for Contemporary Fiction. Her work has appeared in newspapers, magazines, and literary journals. Her poetry chapbook, Time's Tyranny, from Finishing Line Press, published in October of 2017, was nominated for the Massachusetts Book Award of 2018. Jean's historical novel, Crossing from Shore to Shore, from Running Wild, is about the life and times of her great uncles, covering the years 1916 to 1919. And just to elaborate that on that description a little bit. So Crossing from Shore to Shore, you've got to ask yourself, what happens when a love story turns into a political nightmare? From the moment Amalia enters his shop, the immigrant shoemaker Erasmo imagines she will fulfill his dreams of America. And their story begins in promise. The lovers are passionate for life and for each other, but they both come to see the truth beneath the surface. Amalia has opened Erasmo's eyes to inequality and the exploitation of the poor. Against the backdrop of World War I, of the World War I Red Scare, while the Spanish flu rages, Erasmo becomes embroiled in the battle between Italian anarchists and the federal government. The dream goes tragically wrong when Erasmo and his brother Giuseppe are framed for murder. The full story is revealed decades later when a great niece visits with the now elderly Amalia and begins piecing together the mystery her family wanted buried with the dead. Through 3 points of view, those of Amalia, the young Erasmo, and the great niece, the truth emerges. Only when the past is confronted will our ancestors stop whispering to us and finally be at peace. Oh my gosh, how can you not hear that description and not say, oh my God, I need to read that? So anyway, okay. Just to start. So like, what is the first book you remember reading?
Oh, well, I did not come from a family of readers. We did not have books in the house. So I was completely tantalized as an elementary school child going into the library of the first school where I ever attended. And I just looked at all these books and I was totally amazed by them. And I picked up Winnie the Pooh. So Winnie the Pooh was my first book.
I love it. And who's your favorite author? And you can give more than one.
Oh my God. I mean, that is so, I mean, that is incredibly hard. It really relies a lot these days on what I'm reading most recently. And I've been reading a lot of really good historical fiction. I really loved Allegra Goodman's Isola, which has
Mm.
just recently come out. It's a very good book. But if I go back to favorite writers, it has to be the ones that most touch my heart. You know, when I first really started studying literature seriously. And I have to say, Thomas Hardy and Tessa the D'Urbervilles, that
Mm.
did me in. So that's a book that always, you know, if somebody asks me that question, that's like the first thing that pops into my head.
Got it.
Yeah. Very
Fabulous.
tragic, tragic story.
Mm.
Yeah.
Who influenced your writing?
Mm. You know, I'm gonna take that to currently, you know, for my latest book, which you just read about so nicely. Thank you. By the way, Lisa, thank you for having me. It's wonderful to be here.
Oh, love having
I've been
you.
yeah, thank you. I've been thinking about Toni Morrison a lot, and she is
Mm.
such a fabulous writer. So to even use her in, you know, in the same breath as anything that I've written is kind of harsh, hard to do. But
Mm.
I loved A Mercy, one of her books that is well known, but I don't think it's as well known as many of her books. And it's a
Mm.
historical novel. It's not a long book, but it's packed with just tremendous amount of living, and the characters are very well drawn and wonderful. It's very lyrical. So
Mm.
I would like to think that my book, that some of the adjectives to describe it might be similar, that it might be seen as lyrical, that
Mm.
atmospheric, creating characters and under harsh circumstances, and drawing the reader in. So, but she does that so beautifully in all her books. So I'd
Oh,
like to count her. I like to count her as an influence.
oh, I love it. Um, what books made the biggest impact on you?
Well, you know, I guess I've sort of given that away with my early reading with, you know, Thomas Hardy. And another one would have to be Scarlet Letter. I mean, I just sound like
Mm.
such an old frumpy, you know, librarian, but but they're just, you know, if you can really get past a lot of the kind of antiquated feelings that we have about those books, they're just so impactful. I mean, they really tell very vivid stories about wonderful characters and strong women, you know, and I'm talking about male authors in these cases, but the women are just so strong. Hester Prynne is one of the best women characters ever created. So, you know, those books have been a big influence on me, books like that.
Oh, I love it. If you could only read one book for the rest of your life.
Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman. Oh, the poems in there they're just so telling about us as a nation, as a country. And he goes from youth to old age, and it's just an amazing journey that he takes you on. And he's just so big. He's so big. He's as big as the country. So yeah,
Mm. Oh,
yeah.
I love it. Um, what do you reread all the time?
Yeah, this is going to sound really redundant, but look at this right here on the desk. I mean, Leaves of Grass goes with me everywhere. So right
Cool.
here on the desk. So yeah,
And what would you save in a book burning?
I would throw myself into a book burning and, you know, probably just take out as many of the books as I possibly could.
Mm.
Um, Yeah, the ones that I've already mentioned for sure. And of course, you know that Scarlet Letter would definitely be in the banned book list
Mm.
today. It probably is. The other Hardy book that I would add to that is Jude the Obscure, another book where the characters would just tear your heart out. They have to go back and read a lot of these books over again, because we think of them as just fusty old, library books, but they're just full of life and love and
Mm.
adventure. Great
Oh,
books.
I love it. Now, what inspired you to write this book?
Yeah, this was, as you've mentioned, it's a family story, one that I learned of late in life, because nobody would talk about it. But it was such a tragic story. And to just put it in a few words, I wanted to right a wrong. The only thing that the family would ever say about it was that they were killed, and they were framed, and it was wrong. So it is to right a historic wrong in the family is one of the reasons why I wanted to write this book.
Wow.
Yeah.
And who did you allow to actually read the book while you were writing it?
You got to read it. Your acquisition editor got to read it. A.E. Williams, my editor, got to read it, and my husband. I was very protective of this book. I really, I didn't bring it to a book group. I didn't, get group members to give me feedback. It was really not until it was in the you know, in the stages toward publication that I let some people read it. So, it kind of goes against what you're supposed to do as a writer, to get lots and lots of feedback as you're writing. But I was very protective of this book, so I didn't do that. And here we are.
And here we are. Honestly, it's so gorgeous. I mean, it really is a phenomenal book.
Well, thank you.
It's one of those that we definitely, when we were acquiring books, it had thumbs up all around. Like there was no question that it would be something that we wanted to acquire. So,
well, great. Yeah.
And
thank
interestingly, your comment about like being protective of it and not letting others read it until like it was time. More authors I know who are more experienced have a very similar methodology where they maybe have one or two people that they trust who they might actually allow to read, the story. But in truth, I'm finding more and more people who are like, I don't want anybody to see this until I know it's complete,
Right.
And
right. Yeah.
you're going to revise it anyway.
Yes, exactly. And I did. I mean, even, through the process after it was acquired, it went through and what is a much better and richer book now as a result of that. But, and I know sometimes these writers groups can make you go down too many rabbit holes, that you need to stick with your gut a lot of times and what you think you should be doing and what you need to do it, and you have to know how to take feedback that's going to help you and the feedback that maybe you need to leave, so
Yeah, absolutely. If you were at a dinner party with 4 seats, who would you invite to the table?
Okay. So how I love James, just read James when it first came out, the Everett Percival Everett book. So he would be at the table with Mark Twain. And it would be wonderful to hear them talk about the book and what would Mark Twain think of Jim, and what would Percival Everett tell Mark Twain about his characterization of Jim. So I thought those two would be great. And then I thought, well, let's, take another pair that would go together with them. What about Danzy Senna, who wrote Colored Television, which is a contemporary book.
Yes.
Great book. She's married to Percival Everett.
She
And
is.
yeah, yeah, and then have Toni Morrison there too, because these this foursome could talk so intelligently about cultural differences
Mm,
in the times that they were writing about and where we are today. And with the race relations and the way blacks have been portrayed in literature. And I mean, it would just be a very rich, I think that would be a wonderful, I would love to be at that dinner party
oh
at
my,
around
I
that
I
table.
would love to be there. That just sounds brilliant. Absolutely
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah.
What book is your guilty pleasure?
I just can't imagine books giving you guilt, they're there for so many different reasons and there's so many different tastes that they can accommodate. But if I had to think about, and the thing is too about this is that the one person I thought about was Phoebe Waller-Bridge and
Mm,
Fleabag, which is a series, but she is also a writer. So I would say that, I told my friends when I was watching that, and they were going, "Oh my God, you're watching that?" I said, it's phenomenal. It's wonderful. So it was a little gritty, a little out
mhm.
there, but so good, and the humor was so wonderful. And as a writer, I think, she really captures that spirit of being out there. And, maybe some people feeling that, oh, it's too much, but it's never too much. Talent is never too much.
Oh, I now I have to watch it. I'm totally looking it up.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's terrific. You'll love it. I know you will love it.
Oh,
Yes.
I have no doubt. Okay. Do you read with music or quiet or some other sound?
When I wrote this last book, there were scenes where I was listening to opera and crying as I was writing. Of course, I had to go back and do a lot of revision after that experience, but um, it was very emotional. And so that's about the only time I can ever remember really being influenced by music while I'm writing. Usually, if I have music playing, it could be playing in the background, but no lyrics, because lyrics would be too distracting. Mostly I write when it's really quiet.
Mm.
Maybe sounds of nature because I use my laptop. So I can just write anywhere that feels good to me. And a lot of times I like light and air and hear the sounds of nature. That's always comforting.
Oh, I love it. The few times I ever tried to write while having music on that had lyrics,
Oh,
I would go back and reread and I'd find the lyrics and I'm like, God damn it.
that's not good. Not good. I mean, you
This
could come
is
up
not
with something.
fair.
You could actually come up with something pretty creative doing that, but good thing you reread it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you could ask for one thing to change the world, what would it be?
Everybody would have to be born with mega doses of empathy, and
Mm,
I think that would change the world.
I love that. I mean, I love all your answers, but I'm just saying. So, what does your reading environment look and sound like?
Sort of covered it. I mean, I like to be in a very well lit place. I like natural air, not air conditioning. Sometimes you have to write with the heat on, though. That's true. I like to be, if not outside, sometimes that's hard because there's too much glare. But inside with the door open, a screen door open, I just like to be close to nature when I write.
Oh, I love it. Do you prefer paper, ebook, or audio, or some blend?
Some blend. I love to hold books. I love to
Mm,
smell books and turn their pages, but I
mm,
read on an ebook because I can change the font. I can change the lighting. I can look things up. I can mark things. I can make notes easily. I can find things easily. So to me, it's just completely changed the way I read now on ebooks. And you can take tons of books with you when you travel. You can have
Mm,
them. Yeah.
that's a great point. Now, if you were to make Crossing from Shore to Shore into a TV show or a film, who would you cast as your main characters and why?
Okay. Well, it would be a 6-part series, I think, on Netflix or maybe Apple. I like Apple. Okay, I would, yeah. Well, one of the series that I was just enamored of because I loved all the books was My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. And
Hmm.
so when her characters were in their, not children, but in their young adult, teen to young adult phase, I would have had Leela, the woman, be Amalia, and
Mhm.
Nino would have been Erasmo. I think that they would really fit the way I envision them. And then the woman who is an American who goes back into her roots, I would have Marissa Tomei. So, and she does,
Ooh.
yeah, she does serious things also. You know, I always think of her as kind of a comic actress, but she can be serious too. So yeah, I think that would be great casting for that book.
Ah, love it. If you could meet anyone, who would it be and what would you ask them?
Okay, this is a serious question and a serious answer. Um, because of the times we live in, Martin Luther King. And I would ask him, what could you do and say now to lead us? We
Mm,
need him. We could really use him now. So, yeah.
mm. Oh, wow. Yeah, absolutely. Describe yourself in 5 words.
Okay. Serious, funny, worried, relaxed, and trying. Is that 5? Did I get 5?
You nailed it.
5. Okay.
Describe your life in 5 words.
Hmm. Um, busy, tiring, lucky, happy. Is that 4? I got one more.
Yeah, you have one
Loving,
more. Oh,
loving.
cool. Okay. And what was your last guilty pleasure? It could be anything.
Yeah, just last night, a nice bowl of mint chocolate chip ice cream with a big blondie filled with chocolate chunks, and I ate the whole thing.
Oh my goodness.
See, look at the size of my arm.
Wow, that sounds amazing. If you could write yourself into a novel, would you be the hero or villain and why?
Hmm. Well, I always thought that being a villain could be a lot of fun. I mean, it might really be fun to play just the worst, aspects of humanity. But now I think we need heroes. So I think I would like to be a hero and actually do something good.
Okay, I love it. Is there anyone you dream you could work with and why?
Okay, as a writer, this goes back to the 1920s and the differences between what publishing was in those days and what it is today. So I would imagine myself as a young writer with potential, and I show up at the doorstep of Maxwell Perkins. And Maxwell Perkins sees in me some talent that he can just, can chip away at the marble and create a beautiful statue. And he would be my editor. Not that I haven't had a great editor, because I have had a great experience with Running Wild, but just going back to imagine what the publishing world was like in those days and how young people could be, really molded into great writers because of the talent of the editors at that time. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. 2 truths and a lie.
Okay. I went mountain biking in the Dolomites in Italy.
Wow.
I went paragliding it over the Pacific in Mexico.
Mm.
And I went sidecar cycling in the mountains of near Cassis, France.
Oh my
So
goodness.
that's three, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
one of
they
them
all
isn't.
all sound true though. Like I don't know which one's the lie.
Yeah, because they're kind of similar. So I figured that would trip people up.
And now
So
I
do
want to
I do.
travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us what
So
one's the lie. Or yeah.
I've
Mhm.
I've never been paragliding.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And is there anything else that you want to share?
No, this has been really good, and I think it's pretty comprehensive, and it's also not that easy. You really have to think about these answers. So, yeah, nothing
Well,
else to
yay.
add.
Well, Jean, as always, it's just been absolutely a sheer pleasure to chat with you. And for anybody who's watching, please go check out Jean's website, jeanpmoore.com. Go out, pick up Crossing from Shore to Shore. I absolutely promise you, you will be so fulfilled and you'll read it just crying out for more of her prose. So, with that, again, thank you, Jean. Thank you so, so much. Have a phenomenal weekend. And congratulations again on such a gorgeous book.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you for helping to make it what it is today. So, thank you. And this was a lot of fun.
Oh, cool.
Take care.